Once upon a time, there was a father named John and his son named Mark. They lived in a small town on the outskirts of the city. John was a carpenter, and he ran his own small business, while Mark was a high school student. They had a close relationship, and they loved to spend time together. One day, John was working in his shop when Mark came in to talk to him. "Dad, I have been thinking about my future, and I am not sure what I want to do after high school," Mark said. John put down his tools and looked at his son. "That's okay, Mark. It's perfectly normal to feel unsure about your future. But it's important to think about your options and find something that you are passionate about." Mark nodded. "I know, but I don't even know what I am passionate about." John smiled. "Well, let's explore some options together. Maybe we can find something that interests you." And so, John and Mark began to explore different careers. They talked about the pros and cons of each, and John shared his own experiences as a carpenter. Mark found it interesting, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. A few days later, John took Mark to a local construction site. They watched as the workers built a new house from the ground up. Mark was fascinated by the process, and he asked a lot of questions. As they were leaving, John turned to Mark. "What did you think?" Mark smiled. "I loved it, Dad. I think I want to become a builder." John was happy to hear this. "That's great, Mark. Building is a great career, and I can teach you everything I know." And so, John and Mark began to work together on building projects. They spent their weekends building furniture and working on small construction projects. John taught Mark everything he knew, from measuring and cutting wood to using power tools. As they worked, John and Mark's relationship grew even stronger. They talked about their hopes and dreams, and John shared stories from his own childhood. Mark listened intently, and he felt grateful to have such a wise and caring father. Years went by, and Mark became a successful builder in his own right. He had his own construction business, and he had a reputation for being honest and hardworking. John was proud of his son, and he continued to work with him on projects. One day, John fell ill. He was diagnosed with a serious illness, and he was told that he had only a few months to live. Mark was devastated, and he spent as much time as he could with his father. As John's condition worsened, Mark became his full-time caregiver. He helped his father with everything from getting dressed to taking his medication. John was grateful for his son's help, and he told him how proud he was of him. One day, as they were sitting together, John turned to Mark. "Son, I am not going to be here much longer, but I want you to know that you are the best thing that ever happened to me. I am so proud of the man you have become, and I know that you will continue to make me proud." Mark was overcome with emotion. "Dad, I love you so much. You have been my mentor, my friend, and my hero. I will miss you every day." John smiled. "I will always be with you, Mark. Remember the lessons we learned together, and never forget how much I love you." John passed away a few weeks later, but his memory lived on in Mark's heart. Mark continued to build, and he always remembered the lessons his father had taught him.